Hello, this will be a channel message for you for your highest good, and I trust that it found you at the perfect time. I really appreciate you being here with me in this moment, and as always, I love you so, so much, and I'm so, so proud of you. You're doing great, for real, and we have time. So I totally invite you to take a deep breath in, alright, breathe out, relax, do what you gotta do. This is a safe space here. We can all be ourselves and we're all in this together. And on that note, if this reading found you, you're not doing this alone. You are literally part of a global collective that is actively following their heart, pursuing their dreams, and bringing more love into the world. Literally creating a new earth, a new space for us to play in. And I think that's pretty cool. I appreciate that. So I really admire the progress that you've been making. I really admire all of the inner work that you've been doing. This willingness to surrender to the process and to serve the highest good of the collective through following your joy and bringing more love into your life. I really deeply appreciate that. I love you for that. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I get a lot of fiery energy, so many wands. we got wands for days. So this really passionate, optimistic, creative energy. And I get that there's a lot happening around us, right? Potentially feeling really busy, like we're juggling some things, maybe a few different projects on the go, new relationships, spinning some plates. That's a saying, isn't it? Spinning plates. And really working towards our freedom. That's what I feel. Our spiritual sovereignty, right? Our innate sense of spiritual royalty and confidence, really working on and connecting with that. Basically just creating more stability in our life and more of a sense of freedom in our life from that place. Grounding it down and feeling like we can exist more autonomously in our society, more interdependently through this healing work that we've been doing. Being able to support ourselves. And with that, I really want to start with the shadow aspects here in this reading. And shadow doesn't mean bad or negative. It's just more to do with what we're not consciously aware of. The shadow aspects in this reading are the energies that we're shining a light on. Becoming more consciously aware of how we can balance these things out and use them in a healthy way. And really explore how it's all playing out in our life, right? So in terms of the shadow aspects, I get the Page of Cups and the Ace of Wands, first of all. This wild dreamer, the Page of Cups and the Ace of Wands. That, in a way, the inner child aspect that just wants to create and play and experience joy and channel this raw, primal, creative energy, being so connected to spirit, receiving so much divine inspiration at this time in ways that don't necessarily make sense, and there's no logical framework that exists. It's just the idea. It's the spark. It's the dream. It's the creativity. And we're in a new space. And we're having to use this energy, or not even in a way where we have to use it. It's just what we're in right now. It's exciting. It's fresh. It's new. And we're being given the opportunity to ground our dreams into reality. And this is the starting point. We're becoming more consciously aware of this, the Page of Cups and the Ace of Wands, coupled with the Moon in Cancer and the Moon in Capricorn as shadow aspects. These very strong parental archetypes that exist in our life. And this is what we're becoming consciously aware of, is the way that we have been parented in the past and the way that we continue to parent ourselves through this creative process, and the way that we support ourselves through all of this major change and this shifting that is happening, right? There might be information that is filtering into your awareness at this time in regards to the way that we've been parented in the past, the way that we've had to interact with these authority figures in our life, and how their involvement, or sometimes lack of involvement, has shaped us and informed us, and really shining a light on how we can continue to build on that and support ourselves and parent ourselves in really healthy ways. So there's this energetic undercurrent that exists through this whole reading, and I think that that's going to be a really big theme here. I see a lot of contrast in our energetic field right now, good and bad, negative, positive, things that feel heavy, things that feel light, and there's so much information that can be taken from this. The contrast is so important, and it's so beautiful because it tells us what we want to experience, and what, on an intuitive level, on that level of the raw primal inner child that is just feeling and receptive and open to experiencing things, on that level, what do we not want? Maybe logically, that information comes later, but really feeling into what we don't want to experience in this life, what feels bad, what feels heavy, what makes us feel restricted and bound and stuck, right? Because I get the 8 of Swords and the Knight of Wands in the centerpiece of the reading, contrast. And I get this really determined energy, this really passionate, creative energy, and so many downloads at this time, so much inspiration, so many beautiful seeds and plans for the future, things that have never been done before, new methods, new ideas, some of you guys are literally coming up with new genres, new inventions, which are going to serve the world. And there's just a lot of information at this time. And on one hand, it reveals to us almost a sustainability issue. And there's now the feeling that we have to ground this down into reality. So how can we do that? And how can we support ourselves on an emotional level? How can we support ourselves on a really somatic level in order to ground all of this massive amounts of energy down into reality? And I get in the past, there's been so much hard work in this new space. As the Page of Wands, clarified by the 9 of Wands, guys, we have stepped through the door. We've literally stepped through the portal, and we are in this new creative space. And you guys have been working hard through all of this change. Even on an internal level, there's so much work being done on your belief systems, on your emotions, going back into the past and healing these aspects of ourselves that maybe have been exiled or forced down, right? This takes energetic work. This takes time. And I feel like many of us have been really learning to love ourselves through this process. Again, to parent ourselves through this process. And what happens is it continues to reveal things to us. And it's like we reach another level and we hit a plateau or we hit a wall and we have to regroup and look around and think, okay, how are my beliefs informing me here? How are my perceptions shaping my reality? And what can I tweak? What can I adjust here in order to create more of a sense of flow in my life, more of a sense of healthy movement in a really nice way? On the feminine side, I get the 6 of Wands in reverse. So I want to say that there's a big message here about internal validation. And when things don't necessarily go right or look good for you, how do we turn our attention inwards and come at this from a place of unconditional love for self and an acceptance that things don't have to be perfect. We're learning. It's totally safe here to be the page. And we learn through doing it. We learn through experimentation. And potentially you guys are at the cutting edge of something. You're doing things that nobody around you has experienced before. Maybe you don't have someone that can necessarily lead you in a very specific and controlled way. It's like you're getting inspiration from a bunch of different sources here, and you're making your way through life and just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what works. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I feel like there's this theme when it comes to physical sustainability and how we nurture ourselves and like nurture our energy levels and in a way preserve our energy levels or do things in a way that is really healthy for us. So when things break down, it's showing us that it's really not good for our mental state, and it creates anxiety maybe when we're not able to work in the way that we've done in the past. When things really just start to feel like this isn't for me. Like I cannot push this hard. I cannot work myself into the ground. That's not for me. It's creating these massive mental realizations and creating negative contrast within your energetic field. And it's showing you that when we don't nurture ourselves, when we don't look after our bodies, right, which are manifesting machines, when we don't honor that temple, things don't tend to work out the way that we want. And this is creating, in a way, a big shift in our belief systems. It's informing us. This process has been incredibly helpful so we can learn how to honor this manifesting machine that is our body and move forward in a really healthy way, because there's so much information coming into your field that needs to be sorted through. The 8 of Wands, the 3 of Wands, right? Like so much on the feminine side when it comes to informing this creative part of you, this inner child that is really free now to play in this new space. So how can we do it in a sustainable way? And I get the Star, which is the key to all of this. In all of this negative contrast that you've been feeling and these stuck feelings and these problems that we're being forced to solve in a way, the answer lies in all of this. And it's the Star. It's the liberation. It's in that intuitive nudge and following what your body is telling you, following what your higher self on a soul level is trying to tell you, following what is for you, what feels good, what feels right. That's the Star. That is the diamond in the rough here. That is the information that we're trying to seek by going through all of these experiences. And this is going to allow us to move forward and create this excitement, this joy, this fun, experience all of this passion in our life, but do it in a sustainable way. I get the 5, the 6, and the 7 of Wands in this reading. So much Leo energy. So much about the way that we can continue to sustain ourselves and keep this fire burning, because we don't want to get burnt out. Not just on a physical level, but on a mental level. We don't want our inspiration to get burnt out. With this Ace of Wands being a shadow aspect, how can we honor that and sustain this flame? And in a way, protect our ability to stay mindful in the world, stay connected to the divine and these intuitive faculties that we have. How can we stay aligned with the Star card and do things that are aligned with our natural state of being, as we strip it all back and go back to the source of who we truly are when we're not juggling all of this stuff? Like taking a step back, connecting with our bodies again, connecting with our intuition, and really recognizing what feels good. And how can we continue to create in a really sustainable way? That's what I get with all of this Leo energy. The 5 of Wands being on the masculine side and the centerpiece of that. Like there's this massive up-leveling that's happening. There's evolution here. There's soul growth. So many opportunities are opening up for you, all in divine timing. And you're going to receive everything that you want. You're going to get to experience all of this different stuff. All of these ideas are going to come into fruition in divine timing, in a way that's going to work even better maybe than you can imagine. I mean, your higher self sees the top-down view. It has a plan for you. It has a map. So all you have to do is follow that intuitive guidance system, right? And continue to grow in these really healthy ways. You have all of these opportunities. And the King of Swords, the Hermit, the 7 of Wands in reverse, it really tells me that, like, what I'm hearing is like you've been down this road before. you know how this stuff works. You're starting to feel very comfortable as the creator. Somebody who is fair and balanced and who can support themselves in a really loving way, and someone who can create like really nice logical frameworks around this intuition. And this is so personal. It's so personal. And some of us are more process driven. Some of us are more routine orientated, and we feel like we have to create healthy routines in our life. Some of us feel restricted by that and just want to follow that intuitive call and not ground down routines into their reality, and that's fine. We're all so different. Me personally, like, I have so much Aries in my chart. If I don't consciously follow routines in my life that I intuitively set up for myself, things kind of end up everywhere, end up being a bit too crazy and unsustainable. So this is a very personal journey. This is what I get from the Hermit card. Like, feeling confident as the King of Swords, feeling so confident in yourself and developing this level of trust with yourself, developing this relationship with yourself that says, I can go within when I'm faced with these challenges. And when I'm being put in a situation where I know that I'm learning lessons here, I can go within myself, connect with that inner self, connect with myself on a soul level, and really figure out what is for me. How can I make this work? How can I sustain this? How can I continue to parent myself? Because the gift at this time, I get the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck, the Three of Swords, and the Justice clarifying this. Again, I'm feeling this motherly and fatherly duo here, these archetypes that exist in our life to guide us. And asking that question again, how do I parent myself through all of these lessons? How do I parent myself through all of this change? And there's two things here. I feel like on one hand, it's so important at this time to honor all of these emotions and honor all of the feelings around that. Honor the child that just wants to play and wants to feel joy and wants to explore. Bring more of that energy into the world without any kind of logical framework, just wanting to feel that. And we have to honor that. And we have to support ourselves through that. And we have to recognize that that's a part of who we are. And there's a way to do it. And we can figure out more balanced ways to do this if things haven't been working out for us in the past. Maybe we can tweak things and alter some things. But we have to honor these emotions. And we have to love ourselves through that. We have to show ourselves unconditional love as the page, as somebody who's learning. And that's what I really get from the Three of Cups. Really recognizing how important it is to stay in that really nice, healthy vibration of love and being connected to those emotions. And having tools, right, that will help you continue to feel good through all of the ups and downs, through all of the challenges, really honoring that. And on the other side of that, there's this really healthy masculine stoicism that we can integrate that says, like, there are actions that we can take in a really realistic way that are going to help us, that are going to benefit us. And this doesn't have to be harsh. We can learn from the past, as the Three of Swords would suggest. We can learn from things that haven't worked out for us in the past. And we can really recognize how we can improve on things. And again, this is so personal. And intuitively, you will become aligned with this stuff. You don't have to force the change necessarily. If you feel motivated to take action and apply some level of force, sure, 100% from a place of love. But I find that just through shining a light on this stuff and really observing it and being really honest with ourselves, and our ability to love ourselves through this unconditionally helps with the honesty. It becomes a lot less painful to be honest with ourselves when we really love ourselves. We can look at things really clearly and act in alignment with the things that we know are good for us. And we can learn from the past, as the Three of Swords would suggest. We can do this in a really healthy, balanced, loving way, as the Justice card would suggest. And sometimes we need that inner parent. If we're in this Page of Cups, Ace of Wands energy, this raw creative energy, where sometimes it feels like there's a lot going on and we're struggling to ground it down into reality. Sometimes we need that parent, that inner parent, to say, stop. Let's just take a deep breath. And as the mother, we can say, look, your feelings are valid. And we can slow down and honor that. And we can act from a place of love. We can choose our feelings and our true nature as a starting point, and we can act from that place. And we also need that inner parent to say, stop. We can explore all of this, and we're going to get everything that we want. It's just a matter of taking one step at a time. Let's just slow down. Let's just come back to the body. Right? Let's just take some time out. Let's integrate some more self-care. Let's recognize where we've been wounded in the past and we're still healing aspects of ourselves that feels like it really needs to work really hard. But how can we do that in a more balanced way? That's the inner parent. And I feel like that's what we're really learning at this time, because there's so much raw creative potential that exists right now. And there's also a need to continue to reflect, to connect with ourselves on an emotional level, to get to know ourselves better, and integrate parts of ourselves that maybe we forgot were even there. We're still learning. This is an entirely new space that we find ourselves in, and we have to respect that. We have to honor that we have literally stepped into a new energetic space, and there's so much here for us. There's an abundance of wealth and joy and community and experiences and friendship, right? And the more that we come home to ourselves, learn to support ourselves on a deeper level in healthier ways, in more somatic ways, in more emotionally supportive ways, the more that we can do that on an internal level, on an individual level, the more we can show up within our communities and support each other, not in a codependent way, but in a way that is interdependent, where we are healed individuals that are creating something new. We're creating something bigger and better. And I think that the Three of Cups here really speaks about that. Is connecting with that friendship and that community that we have in our life. And even if we don't have a lot of it right now, really appreciating what we do have, the small energies, the things that we can reach for, the evidence of community in our life that we can reach for, and just to sit in appreciation for that and feel all of the beautiful feelings that come with that, because that is going to create more energetic momentum in our life. That is going to give us the confidence to continue to put ourselves out there, to be vulnerable, to connect with other people on an emotional level, because we all want that. We all want this emotional connection in our life. Even if it doesn't always seem like that, we all want that. It's a need. I feel like that is an innate human need, to have that level of emotional connection and support, that raw, authentic connection that can exist in our communities. And that is what we're creating here, from this really healthy, healed place. So I might start to wind this thing down, actually, because a lot has been said here, and that was a huge, deep reading. And you guys are doing so well. And again, this is so personal. So I totally invite you to continue to meditate on all of this stuff and all of these parental energies that exist inside of us, that is here to, it's here to guide us. And it's this relationship between restriction and order and learning from experience and experiencing this negative contrast. It's a relationship between that and the liberation that comes from healing those aspects and creating a really healthy sense of order and support in our life, creating a really healthy foundation in our life that is really personal, and it allows us to build ourselves up and create more. You need the healthy foundation. That's what I'm getting. We should totally leave it there, I think. We need the healthy foundation so that we can build bigger and better things and follow our passions, right? Wisdom keeper, a new perspective, study and learning. There's so much growth here in this space. The Page of Cups, the Page of Wands, wisdom keeper. So go so kind on yourself. Go so kind on yourself. Be so kind to yourself at this time. And don't be hard on yourself, because we're literally building this new foundation, and it doesn't have to be perfect, like I'm saying, because we have time. We have time to make this thing happen. There's still self-exploration that's being done here, and we totally got this as a team, as a community. I get weather the storms. Let it change you. Embrace the unexpected. And this goes back to what I was saying, throwing stuff at the wall. Letting the experiences shape you and letting this negative contrast inform you as you get closer to this soul essence, your true soul codes, which are going to allow you to follow that inspired action, tap into your intuition in such a deep way, and continue informing you as we move forward in this new space. So I will totally leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for all of this beautiful work that you've been doing, and thank you so much for sharing this incredible energy with me. And we've totally got this. We got this. You're doing so well to move through all of this. We have time. We're just putting one foot in front of the other, and we're learning to really nurture and parent ourselves through this whole process. You're doing amazing. I have so much love for you. Thank you so much for sharing this space with me, and I absolutely cannot wait to do it all again in the next reading. I love you guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.